Hello, my name is Paul Cavanaugh, and I got kind of inspired to do these videos from watching, Hickok 45 and Scott over at Kentucky Ballistics and Matt over at Demolition Ranch. I figure if they can do it, I can do it. I collect firearms, and I'm not rich, so I got to do it cheap and low budget. And what I'm going to show you guys is some of the firearms that I've acquired over the years that I've fixed. I'm going to even show you what happens when you buy cheap ones and sometimes they don't work. And I got some historic ones too that they'll fail at times. So just I'm telling you this because if you go and think you're going to get a cheap firearm, you're going to have to work on it. I do everything on my own. As you can see, this is my firing range. I get steel plates wherever I can and set them up. I started doing competition shooting back in 1996 with USPSA. I've done 3-gun matches and some IPSC, and now I'm kind of into the steel plate challenge. So I've got some experience with firearms, and I'm going to share that with you guys at low budget shooting. I get almost all my firearms from auctions. Every once in a while I'll buy a brand new one when I got money in the budget for it. And I'll show you guys how to acquire them. I'll tell you what I paid for them. And hopefully you'll learn something from it if you're starting off new in firearms. So thanks for watching. Today on low budget shooting, I'm going to pick up on a thing that Scott at Kentucky Ballistics did about 3 weeks ago, and he was shooting some 10 millimeters, and I was actually surprised there was one he didn't have. So the 10 millimeter was made in about 1986 is when Colt released one, but basically what happened in 1985, the FBI in Miami was in a big shootout. It's all over the internet, so I'm not going to go into details, but the fact of the matter is they were outgunned. So they wanted something stronger than 9mm and 38 that they were using, and they commissioned some companies to make them. And Bren is one of them. They made the Bren 10, which Don Johnson carried in Miami Vice. And then Colt came out with the 10mm Delta Elite. So this gun right here is an actual Delta Elite. You can see they got the little Delta signal in it, and on the side of it, it says Delta Elite. They made this gun in 1986 and released it to the public. I bought this one in an auction, and I've got about 1,100 in this thing, and it was a little bit modified. Somebody changed the trigger on it and put some target sights on it. But this is the 10 millimeter that really got out there. The FBI used it, and it had a lot of kick, and so that's what progressed into the 40 caliber, excuse me, and that is where the Glock 22 ended up coming from. So I'm going to shoot this, but there's also another one that I've got that is super rare, and this gun right here is made in Spain, and it's called, the company is Star, and this particular one is the Megastar 10. They only made 2,000 of these in 1992, and what made them really unique is one of them is, that's unique about it, is it doesn't work. There we go. It had a decocking mechanism like what I just did there, and it was also a double action. When the magazine's in there, you can actually pull it back and it'll be a double action. But what was really unique about this in 92 is it was a double stack mag, which really wasn't in a big caliber gun at the time until later. Parent Ordnance did one with the 45. Now this gun that I'm holding right here, they only made 2,000 of these, and 1,800 of them were in 45 caliber. but 200 of them were in 10 millimeter. And what's even more rare about this one is this particular firearm was actually owned by James Earl Jones. I picked it up in an auction. It's one of my most expensive guns. I paid $2,800 for it. And James Earl Jones was a huge collector of firearms. He was actually in the military. I believe it was the Korean War, and he collected military type firearms. He had close to 2,000 of them. Checkpoint Charlie is the one who did the original auction for him when he was getting rid of his guns in December of 2017. And I actually saw this go up for auction in Rock Island Auctions in Illinois, and they carry some really high-end historic firearms. And I called him before I bid on this because I wanted to make sure that, you know, this is a legitimate deal, and he had all the records from it. And they did say it came with a letter of authenticity, which it did, that James Earl Jones signed. So anyways, I got this one. Now, they aren't normally polished. I think James Earl Jones had this polished. I don't actually think that he probably collected this. I think somebody probably gave it to him. I mean, because Megastar, come on. I mean, here we are, Darth Vader. So I picked it up and I got it. It's one of my favorite guns, and I've never fired it since I got it. So I'm gonna shoot the Combat Elite first, and then I'll shoot this one. See if I can hit a bottle. I missed it by a little bit. Got it. By the way, these are about, I don't know, maybe 15 yards away. And the gun, I don't think the gun has that much kick. You know, some people complained it had a lot of kick. There was some issues with the early versions of them where they said the frame was cracking on them. And you can put a spring buffer in here, which this one has, to help stop that. And there we go. That's it with that one. Hang on a minute. Got one more. That thing really packs a hit. Really packs a hit. And so here, there we go. This is the Megastar. Well, might help if I have it on fire. Let's see how the double action works. And let's try the water. Oh yeah, that's nice. There you got it. 10 millimeters to add to the collection of Scots on Kentucky Ballistics. Go look at his website because that's actually a cool video. He has about 6 10 millimeters in it. Thanks for watching.